watch on Taz.
That's it.
Let's go, boy.
That's it.
Let's go, boy.
They don't have too many male teachers at the school, so the teachers, well, my teacher at least, told me that we want to try to serve as like the male role models. I mean, some kids maybe don't have somebody like that in their life, so it's important for us. And Coach made it clear that we have to step in and be leaders for them.
I was coaching my daughter's soccer team at the time, and we had a new family move into town from Cincinnati. The mother of one of the kids that I was coaching had been an engineer in Cincinnati, and when they made the move to Cape Girardeau, she had decided that she had a huge passion for the elderly and children, and that she was going to make a professional change and go into teaching. So she was doing her student teaching at Franklin Elementary School, and through getting to know her, she shared with me that Missouri ranked very high in a category that we don't want to be ranked high in, and that was at-home elementary school suspensions. Most elementary school students that are being suspended are typically in a situation where they may have a mom at home, but they very often don't have a father figure. So she started a discussion with me, and it really impacted me.
Here, for only 2 years, and you've got some head coaches like Coach Nelson and some other folks that have been here much longer than I have. And I went to Heather and just said, hey, what do you do that works? Like, what is your best practice? What do you love? And one of the things that she was pretty adamant about was this opportunity to serve the youth of Cape Girardeau.
So with every one of our student athletes, we approached it as a class, and that they needed to look at their schedules, and they would pick a time that they could consistently ensure that they would be dependable and could show up.
I thought it would be fun, except I really didn't know what kind of environment we were going to get into, just like knowing the situations that some of the kids were in, knowing that it was a lower income community that we were going to be at. We know some kids were dealing with different lifestyles than any of us grew up in, so it'd be different in what we were going to deal with on a day-to-day basis with them.
So each player take 1 hour out of their week. Like I go Mondays at 11. And you go there, you hang out with the kids for at least an hour, and then you're free to go, but it's every single week, so you're building a relationship.
Mostly when the athletes have been coming into my classroom, they come in, I pick students out who are having issues in certain areas. The athletes will go out with the students out somewhere else in the school. They'll work with them on multiplication facts, reading. Sometimes they work on spelling words, vocab words.
My kids that I worked with were 4th graders, so they were about 8 and 9 years old. I was a little nervous at first just because I didn't know how I would react to some of the situations that the kids would end up telling me about through the years. It was different, and I just thought maybe I'd mess up. We mostly deal with kids who are kind of set back in their standards, who aren't getting to the levels that they need to throughout this school year. So we'll take those kids aside and we'll go out into the hall or to another room and go read with them, and books that they need to know how to do, or go over different words that they're struggling with that week. So I went twice a week last year, so one of my times would be during math and reading, and the other time we would do reading, and then we'd do lunch and recess. So that was a lot of fun because you got to see the kids in another environment.
So last year I was with 3rd grade, and then this year I moved up with them, so I'm still in their same class. There's this little girl named Michelle Ross, and she comes, I think she lives up the road or something. I imagine she walks here with her and a couple of their siblings, and she stands right up there, right when I'm on the on-deck circle, and she's looking over. I'll give her a high five during the game. It's really cool. She's a really smart and bright girl, so last year, she didn't really open up to begin with, and my teacher purposely assigned me with her, try to get her maybe a little bit more comfortable, and it's ever since we got a nice friendship going. I wrote her a letter, we practiced the week before, and then she returned the favor, so I felt really good. I felt really happy for her too, because especially at that age, when you start handwriting and stuff, it's kind of sloppy, but everything was legible. I could read it fine, so I made sure I told her that too when we got back. It wasn't just for me to feel good, but like she did a really good job.
I've seen a few of my kids at some of the soccer games, which is fun because you like see them in the stands and wave up to them.
I think more than anything, the students were really excited, but at the same time, they wanted to build that relationship with them, so it took them time. They didn't open up right away. With some kids, it took a little bit longer than others to build that relationship.
They are upbeat, full of energy, super smart, and just love our kids and stay longer than they should, and they just are able to build those relationships. And that is what we want to provide our students, is giving them as many positive role models as possible.
They love our students and they're so excited to work with them, and they want to, you know, be someone for our kids.
We're getting real world experiences. I mean, I think they're getting the firsthand exposure of realizing how much of a role they can play in these children's lives, that they can be mentors, that they're role models, that they have a lot to give back, and that they can change their community. I always knew we made a difference, but I had no idea on the scale that we were making a difference. So for me, and being an older coach and just some life experiences have really molded me and impacted me to know how much a difference these student athletes can make in people's lives.